Okay, so now that we know how to create files with Verbatim, we can use the best feature of Verbatim, which is creating speech stocks. And the way you create speech stocks is you use the send to speech function on Verbatim. So on the ribbon, it looks like this little arrow thing, but a quicker way to do that is to press the tilde button on your keyboard, which is right under the escape button on the top left corner. So I'm going to click it. And if you don't already have a speech stock open, it'll prompt you to create one. And so I don't, and so we'll say yes. And let's pretend this is Green Hill round 1 AF versus Peninsula. Okay, so I'll create the speech stock. And it'll prompt me to save one. And so I'll save in an area. Now, usually you can do is you can actually make Verbatim autosave your speech documents into a particular folder that you specify in the settings function. And we can do that later. But right now it's not that important. So you'll notice I created a speech stock, and you'll notice that when I created this speech stock, it sent over one piece of evidence. And the reason why, it was because when I created that speech stock, my cursor was on this section. And the way Verbatim works, or the way the send to speech function works, is based on the level of heading, or the header, i.e. the tag, the pocket, the block, or the hat, it'll send everything under that. And so if my cursor is on a tag, it will send the tag and the card under it. If my cursor is on this hat, and I press tilde, sorry, not hat, the block, you'll notice that the entire block gets sent in. If my cursor is on the pocket, and I press tilde, you'll notice that the entire pocket was sent in. So, the way we can use this effectively in a tournament or in an actual round is we can put together our documents that we need for our rebuttal speeches very, very quickly. And so, let me give you an example. So what I'll do is I've made my speech stock, and so what I usually will do is I will press the Arrange Windows button, and what that will do is that will put the speech stock on the right and whatever file you are working with on the left, so you can see it happen simultaneously. And so let's say this is the first affirmative rebuttal. And so in this affirmative rebuttal, I need a counterinterpretation to the 50 states theory that they read, and I press tilde and it's in. I need to get my extensions of the case in, so I put that in, and I need to read this, and I put that in. And then I need an answer to the elections dissad, and so I put that in. And then finally, I need an answer to the race K that they read. And so I'll make a section called race K, and I'll put in my generics of the K, and I'll put it in. And so what you'll see happen there is it said that I was sending text to a middle of something, and the reason why was because I had my cursor still on the section here, and when that happens, it'll sort of insert whatever you sent to speech in the middle of something. Not a big deal because I wasn't in the individual card, but let's say if I had the cursor in the middle of something, and I came here and I wanted to send it, it would say, sending in the middle of text, are you sure? And if I accidentally said okay, now it's in the middle of everything and it screwed up everything. And so you don't want to do that, so make sure that when you're doing that, you're being cognizant of where you're sending things. Okay, so I'll send this in, maybe I'll send this in, and then finally I'll send this because it's a floating pick. And now I have my speech stock, and so now what I can do is I can make it bigger while I'm setting up, and so now the 1AR speech stock is complete. Okay, one important thing to note here is if you want to use the Arrange Windows function, you have to make sure that your window is not the largest, because if your window is the largest and you do Arrange Windows, it sometimes will not work. And that's because what you've done to the window is you've made it the maximum size, and so you've made the size set in stone, and when you press Arrange Windows, it just won't move it. But it doesn't seem like I'm having that problem right now, so it's sort of a small thing, but that's what it means if you get an error message that says cannot sort of rearrange size of a window that's in place or something like that.